stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Hi, everybody. Just checking to make sure my red light is on my mic. Just let me know that you can hear me. I gave up on this little piece of crap. I can't believe how muffled it sounds, and it's not that I've got it on my lapel anymore. I've got it on a tripod, so it's not touching anything, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse, and that's with it charged. So reverted back to my old mic. Hopefully everything is good with the sound. Let me loud and clear. Perfect. Okay. I don't even know what to say. It's not even what a day. It's what a night and then what a day. We, Sunny and I went live yesterday after getting some information about the search and put out kind of what we knew that we were allowed to share. And I can't even say we tried to put it out in a respectful way. Whatever. That's besides the point today. But needless to say, after the live was done, I started getting messages. And this morning I was getting messages and phone calls. And the information that I got made me even more want to bring information to everybody. But I'm going to tell you that I'm conflicted here. I'm very conflicted. I feel like everybody has the right to be heard. There are always two sides to a story. And perhaps before we throw judgment, even if we believe that the people that we're throwing the judgment to have earned that from us, they still have their side of the story. And some of the people that I was hearing from, I'm going to say it shocked me. These people are either invested in finding answers for Jack and Lily and people that I trust with my whole heart, or they're people who they haven't been known to be one side or the other. They're taking in the information. And people who were there yesterday at the search, people that I know don't talk to each other, had the exact same accounts of some of the things that went on. And I think it's important that I give you guys all the information before we make up our minds. And I have made up my mind about this stuff, but I don't even know if I'm going to share what I think. I'm going to give you the information and let you guys decide. And we're going to talk about it. But before we do, I think I can say hi to people. Maybe not for 45 minutes, but we're going to do it. We're going to rush through. First, before oh, wow. Chat has been busy. My bad. Hi, Mary. And where's truth? This is about the video yesterday. There is two sides to every story always, and most of us tend to react without thinking of that. But why block the road? I mean, I have information about that. And it's all going to be what you take from the information, right? Oh, hey, troll. No, I'm just kidding. Huh, bad joke. Hey, Leanne, so heartbreaking. We're Jack and Lily. And let's remember at the end of the day, no matter what we think about the information that we're going to talk about today and what went on yesterday, or any other day, or any other bullshit Facebook post, this is supposed to be about finding answers about what happened to Jack and Lily. Not delusional. I don't think that we on YouTube are going to find Jack and Lily, but can we find some truth? That's all I want. Ooh, ooh. They blocked the road so no one would go on private property, which they did, then became aggressive when they were told it was dangerous. Hunting season is ridiculous. Time to schedule a search. Thanks for being here, Jewelry Freak. Hi, Belinda. Cheryl. Hi. Hi, Ginger Snaps. So how many got charged with trespassing if they nobody? Thanks for being here. Hey, Mattis Catter and Lynn, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Sorry if I'm not going to read through all your comments because we are going to get to it. Jam to the jam. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Again, we'll get into it. Michelle, thank you for being here. And then if you guys have posted something that I'm not reading, please repost it once we're done with the hellos so that I can hit your questions. DEA, a lot of clatter, woof woof. Yeah, Plasmic, hey, good to see you. Mariska, good to see you. We'll talk about it. I think it's also safe to say the Mackenzie side of the family has proven themselves to be more aggressive than what most of us or some of us are used to. So hold that thought. Wolfie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your support. Hey, Roots. Awesome that you're here. Countryside Wildflowers. Flowers, sorry. Hi. Deanna, hi. Mary again. Donna Williams, great to see you. Thanks for being here. Ernestine, thanks. Thanks for coming. Donna and Christy, hi. Carol, good. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. What day is it today? Sunday. Is it Sunday? Sunday afternoon. Whew. This week is flying by. Mary, weakest link. I don't know about that, but I am definitely trying my best to get some kind of truth or at least his side of the story. Did I say hi, Heather? I clicked on your name and then bleh, whatever. Hi, Heather. Cheryl, great that you're here. Thank you. As always, thank you for being here, Christine. Kristen, Alaska, I think, is who calmer today. I don't think very many people are more calm today than they were yesterday. Just saying. It's just my opinion. Hey, this little mama, good to see you. Ori, appreciate you. Blue Jay, hi. And Johnny's here as well. Hi, Johnny. Anna, hi. I feel like this is taking a long time. Closer to you, Donna. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Bobby, hello. Um, who else? Seawood. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining. Sarah, hi. Allison. You guys are so nice taking time out of your evening on Sunday to spend some time with me. I know this case is very it becomes very personal, very um it's hard to just sit on the information that we think we know. Um yeah. April, great to see you. And Nana, thanks for being here. Miss Michelle, there are just so many distractions going on, but the truth is in there somewhere. Where are you, Jack and Lily? Exactly. And that's why we're doing what we're doing here. Good afternoon, Lacey. And everybody's telling me now that my mic sounds good, so it looks like we're good. Marianne, hi. Thank you so much for I think you became a member. Yes, you did. Thank you so much for that. Hey, Squid. Ginger Snap, I am having a day. I feel like I wasn't like I wanted to do this live stream and I really wanted to talk to you guys about it, and it's got to the point now where when I get information, that's all I want to do is I want to tell you guys about it and I want to get your feedback. I want to get your thoughts. Um I guess I'll say it. You guys can hit the like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't know if I have it on subscribers only chat. I it's really why I'm not. It's not really why I'm doing this, but everybody else does it. So I'll just say like and subscribe. I think emotions were running high. They absolutely were, Steffa. Thank you for coming. Who else? Red Miller Rickson. Disappointed but not surprised. Hope everyone is safe. I heard that, a lot of the searchers were tired and sore, and it was a challenging day, but they got through it. Hey, Wild Angel. Betty, hi. Thanks for coming today. Becca, I have been going over and over in my mind what I experienced yesterday during the search that I participated in with my boyfriend and dog Lucy. Um, are you talking about the physical search itself or some of the things that were happening, not even behind the scenes? Hey, true crime junkie. Emotional when searchers looking for two missing children, mainly one that is so close to the people who live by them, who knows them. Uh, hey, Sailor. The Pokemon Princess. Hi, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm not s- like I was nervous when I had Daleen on because I don't think that I didn't have a guest other than Sunny on before that. But for the most part, I'm not so much nervous as feeling unprepared, just because there's always so much and there's always this aspect of, and I understand it, but people don't want to be identified. They don't want to be named or involved, and you have to be really careful about not I guess it's called doxing, but you have to be careful about how you cover the information that you're given, and I just that stuff gives me anxiety because I never ever want to do anything that's going to be disrespectful to any of you that send me stuff, or even the people involved. I try not to be disrespectful. We all know what the one person is that I really don't care about anymore, but I mean, I gave him his dues for far too long. Hey, Donna. Good to see you. Diesel, hi. What is this one? Artis, Artemisia? Art, I don't know how to say that, but hi, thanks for being here. I don't know that I've seen you before. Hey, Baba Joe, P Spice, hi. Mhm. It's the Silent Malaya show. Fair enough. Hi, everyone. Praying for Jack and the. We do need truth and we need transparency and we need to know both sides of the story because he said, she said, and somewhere in the middle, there's a little bit of truth, right? This case is odd, real bad juju. YouTubers are more aggressive and abusive. Family is off the scale. Glad you're here with common reason. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Some people call it weakness. I do not. And I mean, I really don't care. People that don't like me or my channel, it doesn't bother me. I feel like I don't know what my life would be like if I lived in a vacuum and was okay with it, just hearing one side and then running with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how I live my life. I need all the information. And when I have all the information, it helps me absorb and process things and then make up my own mind. And usually, when you place common sense and logical thinking to all of the information, you very rarely go wrong. right? There's no way that we're gonna know exactly what happened to Jack and Lily, but we can think about it as a collective, a logical collective, and maybe stop some of the hate mongering out there. Thanks for being such a fair person, Charmaine. We can get upset and call people names all we want, but that won't get us any closer to the truth. That's right. And it's free. It doesn't cost a thing. Yes, I do too. However, Belinda is in good spirits today. She understands that. I mean, maybe some of the things that were found have no relevance whatsoever, but the fact is the area was covered. Um, and it's just one more check mark off the box. One more box checked off the list. So she was sounding well this morning when I spoke to her. Um, you can't. Thanks for coming. Lisa, hi. Praying every day. Praying every day. The road wasn't blocked. They honked and the people moved. They made. Hmm, we'll get into it. Truly will. I don't know who's calling me, but stop it. Somebody's calling me. Stop it. I think the searchers got upset due to the fact the property is closed off, blocked, while they looking for Jack and Lily. Mhm, mhm. Understand that anxiety can look like aggression. It can, but like I said, Ori, and I think you agree with me that the Mackenzies have kind of proven themselves to be a little bit sharper on that, you know. I don't even know that I would call it assertive. I mean, I would classify it as aggressive. Maybe harmless, but still aggressive. And I mean, I've heard things behind the scenes with my own ears. I'm pretty certain that they are aggressive by nature. Hey, Steph and Carrie. Hi. I don't think I've seen you. If I have, I apologize, but I have the memory of Dory. But thank you so much for being here. If team stuck to the routes given by Please Bring Me Home, then no trespassing issues should be present. Marlene, great to see you. Thanks for being here. Francis, hi. My internet is powered by an ancient mouse on a rusty wheel. Hmm. This. Oh, little mama, hi. I haven't seen you for a while. These are missing kids. If they were my kids, wouldn't care about trespassing. Fair. Cheryl, Christina. No one got charged with trespassing because we didn't cross his property. We stayed right by the water's edge. He was standing at the top of the bank yelling down at us. Cheryl, we've seen the video. I'm gonna play it again from Sunny's channel. I do have the video, but I don't have the watermark that Sunny put on it, so I plan to do that. Um, and like I said, we've seen the video. I have a map, like an overlay map of the property that you guys were crossing, and it looks to me like it was, um, Wayne's, but you had to cross there to get to the waterway, but we'll get into it. Thanks for being here. And Cynthia, hi. Kim, good to see you. Thanks for being here. And I think maybe, possibly, perhaps I am done saying hi to people. Maybe. If I missed you, sorry. Hey, Brookie Cookie Butterfly and AJ, just me. Kaylee, Karen, there's so many of you. Wow. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'm moving on. Oh, look at that. Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Yeah, the members only thing that went public and the donations and stuff, we're gonna talk about it because I have ideas. Hopefully, you guys, some of you saw Sunny's live yesterday and I kind of went over my idea, but what? Why is Dalene's EMA? I don't know what that means. Man, there's so many of you and you've got questions and stuff, but I mean, I have to move on. We can't keep doing this. It's 20 minutes in already. So let's, let's go. First and foremost, okay, and I did hey, Joe and Anne, hi. Ah, see, I feel bad when I miss people. Whatever. Um, I'm gonna tune into Sunny's live tonight. From my understanding, and I know, Melissa, you're messaging me, I believe that the document is ready to go, so you guys are gonna be so impressed. It's gonna be so easy to, navigate through all of the information, so once Sunny puts it out, I will also put it out, but Sunny's got dibs. Um, Having said that, let's go. First and foremost, I meant to give Daleen a heads up about this one because, like I said, I believe it is important to give everybody. No, I didn't say hello to your guinea pigs. Joe, focus, focus. Okay. Um, give everybody a chance to defend themselves, particularly when they're being personally brought up, right? So this is absolutely no slight on Daleen or anything that Daleen said. This is just the opportunity for Cheryl to set something straight. Or no, not Cheryl. I apologize, Cheryl, not you. Christine Inrig to set something right. Um, in her this is her side, you guys, her side. Don't come at me. Don't at me. Um, so there was a comment made the other night by Daleen that she didn't accuse, but she did not think that Christine was sending tips to the RCMP that she was receiving. She didn't say why she believed that. She didn't say why she thought Christine might not have been sending tips to the tip line. But I do know that Daleen said it on my live stream. I don't know if it's true or not. However, I was sent this last night and I was asked to show it, and I'm doing that. And it's basically a text conversation between Christine Inrig to the tip person. I'm sorry, I don't have their last name, Chris, but I think by now we all know who we're talking about. This person kind of in charge of the tips. Um, but it's just kind of explaining, like, "This is who I am. Yes, I've heard from you. I just sent something to your email." And I think that the point here is that Christine was, in fact, in contact with the person in charge of the tips. So I agreed to put this out there because I think that it's, you know, Is it is it important? I think it is important because this information is something that Christine wanted it out there, and I think that the purpose of it is to let people know that if you were giving her tips, she was passing them on. She didn't have any reason not to. So, okay. Um, thank you. I agree with you on that video. What did Tint say to Earl Pryor? We will never know. Always two sides. And unfortunately, the people who are some of the people who are being painted in the worst light aren't speaking up. They're posting bizarre shit on Facebook, but then they're not clarifying anything. Or, you know what I mean? Just weird. I love your channel because you are fair and listen to all opinions. Right. And I think if we're going to make a fair assessment of the information that we're provided, we need to have all sides, all sides, all versions. And then from there, like I said, the truth is somewhere in the middle, most definitely. And unfortunately, with the case of two missing children, we have to decipher from family who's telling the truth and who's lying. It's it's wrong. Thanks, Sea Bounty. Thanks for being here. Hey, Sea Legal. Roy Green. Mhm. She heard from him because she contacted him because of the harassment from Taylor. Who? Oh my gosh. All right. So let's turn to the next item that I was asked to clarify today. And like I said, this I have absolutely no proof who is telling the truth and who's lying. This is the information that we all deserve to have both sides of, right? So again, don't at me at all. Which one? Which one? This one. This one. Okay, guys. So I've heard, we know that this red car here is uh sorry, is the red truck is Wayne's Mackenzie. Apparently this vehicle here is from an investigator, right? I know that it was said online, Daniel had called him an undercover. That's not accurate. He's not undercover. He might have been off duty. He might have been something else, but they were allegedly having a conversation, and the people in the car wanted to get through, and they did have to honk their horn a couple of times, but they did end up moving. So roadblock, no. Um, an unfortunate situation, timing wise, maybe. Full of drama, probably not needed. Probably not needed, right? Um, what are people talking about psychics? We don't really do psychics here. I don't no shade to psychics, but I'm not. At this point in time, there's been too much put out there. Even if even if you are a psychic and you've watched anything, your brain has been tinted and your intuition is off and your readings are not going to be accurate. Said what I said, so I don't want to hear or watch anything to do with any psychics, period. With respect. The officer in charge of the tips was away for 2 weeks and back and then gone again to a training course. There was one podcaster who was very upset about that. Yeah, I saw that, but I will guarantee you that somebody was taking tips. Just because the person in charge of the tips was away doesn't mean they're saying, sorry, we're not taking tips right now. I mean, there were still maybe that particular person um, wasn't able to sit on the phone with Chris for hours on end this time, and maybe that pissed her off. And I don't mean any shade, but I saw that too, and it just reminded me of like a female Durwood. Like, calm down, man. Calm down. It's no reason to get upset here because you can still give your tip. I just, I wish we knew other areas that should be searched. That was one of my big issues with the search itself because we'd already been over that area. Um, but I do understand that Please Bring Me Home was constrained by permissions and what the RCMP, it was an active investigation. So they had limitations to what they could do. And they did the best they could with what they were able to do. Okay, so I don't know which part I want to get to first because thank you for the clarification, Christine, through Charmaine. Excellent. I'm glad. I meant to give you a heads up, Daleen. It was I don't even know where to start about my day and the information that I've been given. So heads up, because if Cheryl is still here, you might not like where we're going next. I don't know if you've ever watched my channel before, but I don't throw judgment. I am not into throwing accusations at anybody. I am literally telling my viewers about the information that I was asked to tell my viewers. And When I'm done, we will talk about it after. But this isn't the place to, you're more than welcome to defend yourself, absolutely, but please do it respectfully. And that's not saying that I'm about to accuse anybody of anything. I just wanted to put that out there because I have no idea who's watching right now. And so here we go. This last photograph, I think this is the last photograph that I'm going to show today. But just to get us started on the topic of conversation, this was sent to me. Let me get rid of this. Okay, so this apparently shows Wayne's property where the X is. And from my, I don't even want to call it a source, but from my information given to me today, when they were traveling through to get down to the waterway, they were not near the water. That altercation happened away from the water, close to the property line, but still on his property. Now, he was upset because apparently, and we only saw, we didn't see the beginning of the altercation. Okay, we saw, well, I don't even know at what point they started filming. However, he was not concerned about um, uh, so much about bears and wildlife, even though it was hunting season, like somebody in chat had said. He has very large ram sheep on his property. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but those are huge. Those animals are huge. And if they decide to charge you, you're not walking out of there. There's there's no walking away from that. So he was concerned that they were going to come into contact with some of his rams. And then Please Bring Me Home's insurance wouldn't cover them because they would be on his property, which they weren't covered to be on. So the altercation became more and more heated because he was aggressively saying what he was saying. But then also, I mean, the people in the search party, they were feeding into it, and they were actually, in my opinion, more vocal in response. And then you have a pack of ladies on this man. It was just a bad situation on both sides, like bad situation on both sides, my opinion only. But let's Well, I mean, that's Cheryl, that's just what I'm saying, right? So you guys have your side, this person has their side, and I'm putting them both out there. So, and we'll get into some of the other stuff that was credibly told to me today by people who were there, people who were there at the morning meeting before anything ever happened. When Nick was first giving out search party coordinates and groups and stuff like this, right? So, and I mean, it all ties into, I think, being relevant to the truth of what happened. When you're angry, you you do not see both sides of the coin, where I think everybody in chat who wasn't there and involved, we shouldn't be angry. We shouldn't be pissed off to the point where we can't see both sides of the story, right? I understand when people, because I've been there, when you're involved in an altercation or an argument or anything, you have tunnel vision. You don't get their side because you believe you're in the right. And that's understandable. I get it. But having said that, it's not, things aren't always what they seem. What is this? Nobody threatened anybody with a knife or bear spray. She just said that she had it if the animals, right. And that's not what was, man. So the issue with that was that he took it, right or wrong, as a threat against his own livestock. So you're going to defend yourself against his livestock with bear spray and a knife, even though you're not supposed to be there, is his side. Okay. Is his side. Rams are not all mean. No, of course not. Of course not. But they're wild animals and they're unpredictable. So call bullshit all you want, but you weren't there. and neither was I. So I'm just asking everybody to take the information and use your common sense. Screaming and swearing that they have mace and knives, they don't have the right to try to injure or kill somebody's livestock. Yeah, reading from the same book, I see. But again, it's just another perspective, right? Yeah. Okay. So, do we want to let's watch the video, okay? Just so we have a refresher of what we're talking about. Um, what am I talking about? I don't even know. Haha. Okay, he wasn't aggressive, Charmaine. Okay, his verbiage and his tone was aggressive. Like I said, it's not. I don't think anybody can sit here and say that the Mackenzies that we've heard of from are gentle, rational, calm people. And if you can point out somewhere in the public realm that we shouldn't or have no right to think that way, please send it to me, because all we've seen from any Mackenzie other than Daniel Martell is aggressive, defensive behavior, even when talking about these two missing children. Anyways, this is so uncomfortable for me. I don't care. Whatever. All right, let's go to Sunny. Like I said, I'm using this one because I don't have her watermark on my version of the. Got to turn my volume up here. And I'm going to share my screen and mute myself. So. Okay. Share screen. Sorry, guys. I'm still getting used to this. I'm getting better, though. Remember when I first started? It's like fucking clueless all the time. All right. So I'm going to mute myself and we'll just play the video. I'll probably play it for a few minutes. Just to remind you of what spurred all of the conversation and why people started reaching out to me last night and this morning. I mute myself.
And then there's a couple videos as well from somebody else. And let's see here. I think this is crazy. Okay. This should be here.
Why are you trying to stop us from finding them? We weren't in the field.
What animals are they? Two rams.
We're not in the field.
Okay.
We're not going in the field.
We're not up there. We're at the water. This field is not fake.
You don't know the water, bud.
Well, you know what? The water is public property. We're on a search. I don't care. I don't care either.
We're leaving the area. Thank you very much.
We got knives. We got bear spray, and there'll be no more. And I will have you turned. I will have you turned.
We are leaving the area.
Okay.
Two missing kids have a fucking heart.
Okay, you know what? My name is Janice Potty. I live in Nebraska. Can I call the cops? Please. No.
We're walking the river.
Water.
Help us at least.
You're not telling me what. I have been warned. I am dialing 911 right now.
Please do. Yeah, please do.
Tell them my name is Janice Potty and I'm with Green. We're
looking for children.
Drive across.
We're looking for children. Where's Jack and Lily?
And how do you know they're not here? Prove it.
Like what? Why are you trying to stop us from finding them? We weren't in the field.
Very dangerous animals. What animals are they? Two rams.
We're not in the field.
Okay.
We're not going in the field.
We're not up there. We're at the water. This field is not fake.
You don't know the water, bud.
Well, you know what? The water is public property. We're on a search. I don't care. I don't care either.
We're leaving the area. Thank you very much.
We got their spray and there'll be no more. And I will have you turned. I will have you turned.
We are leaving the area.
Okay,
For two missing kids have a fucking heart.
Okay, you know what? My name is Janice Potty. I live in Nebraska. Can I call the cops?
Please.
No.
We're walking the river.
Water.
Help us at least.
You're not telling me what. I have been warned. I am dialing 911 right now.
Please do. Yeah, please do.
Tell them my name is Janice Potty and I'm with
We're looking for children.
Private property.
We're looking for children. Where's Jack and Lily?
And how do you know they're not here? Prove it.
Like what?
Yeah, I totally also have questions about that. Cheryl, if you're still here, I don't know if you're willing to say or answer some questions, but who was that was, yelling, "Where's Jack and Lily?" Like who was that in your group that was yelling that? And um, as I understand it, there was no "please bring me home" person in your group. Um, so um, who was it that said we're leaving the area? And those are just questions before I get into the rest. And it's because of the information that I was given, which is not my information. I'm going to read to you word for word what was sent to me, and somebody completely separate, who I trust and believe, had told me something earlier in the day, um, that matched what this person had said about something that they heard. Yeah, I know that you had Allie in your group with you. Um, but again, and I mean, I don't mean to cause you any grief or shade or anything like that, Cheryl. But to be fair, not you or Cindy or Haley or Allie or anybody in your group, Janice, would have been familiar with the property lines. Okay, in my mind, and this is just giving you guys the benefit of the doubt that you didn't purposely go there to, you know, potentially have some kind of a altercation. And like I said, this is based on information that I will be reading from somebody else. It's not, I wasn't there. I don't know. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm just like, honestly, it's just crazy, right?
Quiet, honey. Shh. Did she answer? I'm sure she did. She seems to be receptive to questions, which is good. And I'm sorry I'm not getting to everybody's stuff. Sorry. I would take a bet that it was Allie from CBC that said they were leaving the area, in your opinion. Because that to me sounded like somebody that wasn't sure that they were in the right and was willing to move along, to kind of save the altercation. And that does seem more like something that a news reporter who, if it came out that she was involved in some kind of an altercation, that could really affect her negatively. So I agree with you, Kent, 100%. Sadly, videotaping all this is just going to cause more chaos and not help Lily or Jack. That's true, Anne, but however, I do understand why in a situation like that you might want to capture it on video. There are two sides to that way of thinking as well. I get it. Why would you stop searchers looking for missing children if you've nothing to hide? I mean, fair question. Fair question. But if he was truly worried about his Rams getting aggressive with these people on the property, um, not the best way to go about getting them off the property, but that more drama than it was searching for kids. It sucks. Yeah, we stayed along the water, but how did you get to the water? I mean, I'm not saying that you guys just, purposely went onto his land and stood there and waited for an altercation. That's not what I'm saying. Is getting to the water from my understanding, might have been the reason that you didn't realize where the property line was and you were maybe, perhaps, possibly unknowingly on his property. And from my understanding, the RCMP had warned, please bring me home, that there would be an issue if somebody went onto Wayne Mackenzie's property. Like, he is already known to not like people on this property. So, I mean, that was told to Nick. Like, he was given fair warning. So most non-property owners don't understand the liability involved in having trespassers in the location. Yeah. Drippy, hi. Put rams in barn, put dogs on leash, stop using animals to stop searches for these kids, Mackenzie's. Then what is the excuse for blocking the road? You must have missed it. According to the people, the Wayne's vehicle was there. He was in the vehicle, and then the vehicle beside him was either an off-duty officer. I think off-duty. Daniel said undercover, but that's not how they work. But anyways, they were having a conversation. The people in the vehicle did have to honk their horn to get by, and it took maybe a little bit longer than they had wanted. But roadblock, no, we're not talking Ruby Ridge here. So again, it's just another perspective, another piece of information for you to consider. And when you're in that car and you're in that situation and you're dealing with the shit show of a case, I don't blame them for thinking they're blocking the road. They don't want us in. I don't see anything bizarre about thinking that way. But now that we have another side to the story, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle, right? Just give me one sec, guys. I'm gonna take Dalene's ticker off the bottom. That's funny. Put my own on. No, I don't want to do that either. Ticker. Ticker? No. Okay, ticker. This one. There. That's my email. No, what was Cindy? Because that's interesting to me. Which one was Cindy? I don't want to go back up and try to read. What was Cindy? Which one was Cindy? From my understanding, nobody was charged with trespassing. Nothing came of any of this. We didn't even see a bird in the area the whole day, let alone some lambs. Rams. Rams are not lambs. Totally different. If you come face to face with a ram, you'll never forget it. The big friggin' horns, they'll take you out. If I was family, I would ask the same thing about where they are. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree. The way they shouted back seemed personal. I agree. But it is personal. And that's why, in my own opinion, none of them should have been involved in the search. None of them. No offense, but I don't think any of you should have been there. Hey, Sharon, Dragonfly Love, and Cassie. Hi, everybody. But yeah, still, absolutely. Thanks everybody that went out to search for sure. But I think, I mean, it's sad to say that family would be looked at suspiciously if you would have found something. It is sad to say, but it's where we are in this case. It's pathetic, but that is where we are in this case. Let's be honest, would you let people on your property when they're in a frame of mind your relatives are guilty? We started at McLeod Road by the bridge and went in from the road, follow along the water. All right. Let's move on. I don't want to miss anything just in case But the conflict on the other side of that is also look who owns the property and look who it is that's doing the searching on that property. It's a big conflict of interest. Yeah. And that's my point. It would have been better if none of them were there. I see the usual contrarians are here. Cool. As long as they're being respectful, everybody's welcome here except Durwood. Fuck Durwood. If I was the landowner and I knew the search was coming, I would have likely taken my rams in ahead of time so folks could conduct their search, but also understand the anxiety around liabilities. Yes, but I don't think that we're speaking of, and Daniel or anybody else from that family, if you're watching, I don't mean any like personal offense to this, but we do know who we're dealing with here. They're not the most compassionate, um, level-headed group that we've seen so far. So taking that into consideration, it was a recipe for this shit to happen. I think the man in the other truck was a hunter. He was wearing green. Okay. I heard it was an officer, um, possibly an off-duty officer hunting somebody not related or actively involved in the search, having a conversation with the person in the red truck, not a purposeful roadblock, maybe intentionally taking longer than it should have to move, is my understanding. Can't expect people to be welcoming to people, accusing them of very harsh things, being on their property, searching without law enforcement in tow. Yeah, but we need to. There's two sides here, guys. They're looking for evidence or information about what happened to Jack and Lily, any trace of them whatsoever. Um, and I think most people, if they were worried about liability, like myself, we have 11 acres here. And if somebody wanted to come on and search my property, I don't know that I would be an asshole about it and say no. I might join them. I might have them sign a waiver. I might want pre-planning done, but I don't think that I can't see myself saying no, especially if my nephew was being pointed at as the prime suspect. But like I said, I don't live in their reality. I don't their their way of addressing the public is not my way of addressing anybody, even when I'm angry. Except Durwood, fuck Durwood. Wayne needs to suck it up. Oh, drippy. It's a crime and shame. Didn't report it like that. That is why you can't believe everything you hear. To be fair, Sonny and I didn't have that information last night. And I know that I'm not sure if it was Cheryl or Haley that sent the video, but that was their side. So, and to my knowledge, there wasn't a whole lot of context sent along with the video. So we watched it, we reacted to it, and everybody else reacted to it. Trust me, because like I said, my inbox was flooded last night and this morning. But we didn't have the information then that we do now. And that was to be fair. Women sometimes are more mouthy than men. I think a lot of times, especially when we're in packs, we're like a pack of wolves, especially when we're, arguing with one ignorant man. We can get. Would have been better if they spoke to the property owner ahead of time to let them know they only wanted to go in the water. The group was ignorant and brought it on themselves. I think that there was an attempt on some level to get permission, but the Mackenzies were not receptive to that. He could have put his rams in a fence. Oh, come on. They were not bothering anyone or anything. Plus, he knew ahead of time that the searchers were out. Yes, he did. Would the Rams remove Lily and Jack from this earth? But any animal involvement, Steffa, any animal involvement, there would have been clues or evidence left behind. Any animal involvement. There's not an animal on this earth who could get rid of two small children without leaving a boot, a backpack, a diaper, something along the line. So, no, I say not possible. You can come back to this later, but does anyone know if Janie's 7 acres of property she yelled about having no water on it was searched? I shouldn't say. I don't know about that one. Cindy was the one who said, "We are leaving, thank you very much." Okay, good to know. Good to know. All right. So like I said, I am not going to show is that side of the story true? Is either side of the story true, Jerpy? That's just the point, isn't it? None of us were there. Well, Cheryl was there, but we weren't there. Okay. So to say this side of the story is more credible than that side of the story, just given the information that we have, I think is, to me, it's not logical. Call me Spock. That's not logical. Because we don't know these people either any of them, right? I do know the people who gave me this information, and I do trust them. They're not out in the social media causing drama. They're not in that circle. They're not Daniel supporters. Um, they are very hard on Malaya. So let's read it. Let's figure out what you guys think. And I don't need to recap the conversation, the phone conversation I had this morning with the other person. So the other person told me very, very similar story. And I'll kind of go through it after I'm done reading this, but I got this message a couple hours ago this afternoon. So I mean, plug your ears, Cheryl. Hey, I just wanted to give you some context about what I seen yesterday prior to the video of the altercation with Mr. Mackenzie. While we were all still at the community center, I overheard Janice, Cheryl, and Haley talking about what they would do if any of the Martell and Mackenzie family came after them. Janice had it all planned out that they would let her do the talking because she had nothing to lose if someone was arrested. She also said she would use her knife she had in her pocket if she had to. At this time, they already knew which area they were assigned to, and Cheryl was their captain. Nick gave everyone their instructions before we set off. No one was to get in any altercations. If anyone was confronted, they were to be non-confrontational and allow only the team captain to speak. The captain was simply to say, "We are here searching with please bring me home. And if there's an issue, please call Nick and give him his phone number." Then we went to the opposite. Okay, wait. Then we go search. Their team was given an area heading away from the Gerlach Lansdowne area, going back toward McLeod Road. Nick specifically gave them this area to avoid because he didn't want them in any way near Daniels. They went the opposite way than the route assigned to them. They were very confrontational, and the only one that acted the way we were all instructed was Cindy. She was the only one not arguing with the man. You can hear her in the video saying, "We are leaving the area." Trust me, I am not defending the actions of Mr. Mackenzie, but what they did was wrong too. First, they should not have been there. Two, they were not supposed to encourage an altercation by arguing back. And third, they should not have been threatened. Should not have threatened to kill his animals. Again, I am not defending this man, but I want you to have all the facts around what happened, including them for an altercation while at the community center, while having their search area that was going away from this specific area. At the end of the day, all focus from both sides should have been on Jack and Lily. And then to piggyback on that, this morning, the person that I talked to also said that Nick had the groups pre-organized, pre-planned, but when this particular group arrived, they wanted to be searching in the same group. They wanted to be part of the same group. So from my understanding, there were two groups of them, one with mostly the males, like the boyfriends or the partners, and the other was with Cheryl, Haley, Cindy, Allie. Sorry, I can't remember the other one. But anyways, they had Nick change the search groups that he had pre-planned, pre-assigned, so that they could all be in the same search group. Which I would have to ask, why would you want that? With all of the drama and all of the accusations flying around, what if you guys found something? It would have been less than credible. And it's no shade on you. It's just the reality of where you are in this case. It really is. And blame Malaya for not clearing anything up or defending herself. And she doesn't need to defend herself to YouTube, but she needs to defend herself to her family, at least. Just putting that out there. So anyways, that version was given to me twice, and then, like I said, piggybacking that they insisted in the morning that they were in the same search group together, and Nick had to reorganize everything, but purposely and carefully decided on the area that they would search to keep them as far away from Daniels as possible. And also, Janie was home, Daniel was home. They did not leave their houses during the search. From my understanding, Janie might have went out and smoked, but as for, being outside, engaging with any of the searchers, no. Um, if that, if you're talking about the roadblock story, I was referring to the video altercation. If we weren't there, they would have been 12 people less for searching. I understand. I do. I do. There wasn't nearly enough people searching. And I don't know what any of you guys must be going through or feeling or thinking. But had you found something, it would have been called into question. And I think at this point, even by the RCMP, just because of the mud being slung back and forth. You know, it's unfortunate that this is your reality. And that really by very little doing of your own. And I'm trying to give clarifying information. Like, so we've got one side and now we've got the other side. And like I said, the actual, because people get heated and they get television when they're upset. They do. So it's just human nature. Let's get into what you guys think of what I just read. Belinda found the blue blanket. Does that make her suspicious? No, but she also hasn't been accusing other people of planting evidence either. I think it's a case of you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. 100%. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Wouldn't Rams be at risk from the bear? I don't know. I would suspect so. It depends on the size of the bear. I've actually physically seen rams ram people, and they wound up in the hospital over it. So not likely, but that's just like people saying, oh, bears don't attack humans. Yes, the fuck they do. Absolutely. Given the right circumstances, absolutely they do. And I've seen what you're talking about with my own eyes. Oh, why would you say that, Cheryl? Please refrain from suggesting no, Daleen, it wasn't meant like that. It was because I said, had you found something, it would have lost a level of credibility because of all the mudslinging back and forth. It was simply it was an example. And She wasn't suggesting that Belinda would do that. It's just how would people feel? Would it still be suspicious? That's a different thing than what you're taking it as, I think. Earl Martell has a comment on his Facebook account, country people meeting, etc., how they stop on the road. Yeah, I'd be surprised if most people in here haven't experienced that. Pulling up behind a vehicle who's talking to somebody going the opposite direction, and you're like, get the fuck out of the way. It happens. Like I said, I'm not saying that he didn't hang around or take too long to move, but to call it a roadblock, I think is an unfair representation of what was actually going on there. But the searchers were insured, so what liabilities? They were insured for what they were assigned to search, Drippy. If they're on private property, they weren't insured for that because they didn't have permission to be there. What did Karen say? What did Karen say? I confronted a ram while visiting a friend, and the goat wouldn't stop hitting me until owner grabbed him by the horns. Yeah. Due to frustration and anger over Lily and Jack on both sides, maybe it's better if RCMP search, but they're not. And that's the infuriating part. It's left up to the family members to figure out what to do next. Because sitting around and waiting for shit to happen isn't working. So I understand. It's too bad more people didn't volunteer. Searching is very much appreciated from all of us, that is people with big hearts that are looking for Jack and Lily. That's what it's all about. Thank you, Tom. No, bear are not going to go after rams, too big and aggressive. Yeah, like I said, it would depend on the size of the bear, circumstances. Like they're not just gonna, attack a ram, but I mean, it is I don't know about Nova Scotia, but here in BC, it is that season where bears are, they're bulking up. They're getting ready to hibernate. And if they didn't get enough sustenance over the summertime, then they will go after things that are smaller, that high calorie intake so that they can survive the winter. So the kids are on any of the family's property. They will never be found, in my opinion. It seems they don't give a F if they are found. Sometimes it seems that way. Is what her second job. I won't be nice. Be nice or be gone. You're not family. Belinda is. She's a grandmother. She had every right to be there. That's not what Cheryl was getting at, you guys. It was just a quid pro quo. That's it. She was saying it was Cindy that was, yes, I saw that. Thank you. Being a lawyer is my main job. Let's find Jack and Lily. Absolutely. This one, Mama, from what I seen yesterday, I would be very surprised if that area wasn't thoroughly searched. That whole area is full of grid search marker tape. They're everywhere. And I tend to agree with you. After 15,000 man-hours of searching partly that area, and now with this search, I would hope it's been thoroughly searched, and I would hope that any further search efforts could be focused on places that might actually have information in them. I've got so many thoughts about that search area that they chose. There are 2 children missing. They have to be found. The circus needs to stop. Do, 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 do. The wee ones lick me and pee strange places. Oh, yeah. He was worried about their safety too, is your opinion? Um, yeah, but there's also a sense of he was pissed that they were there and he was expecting an altercation. I would suspect he might have even been waiting for it, like daring it to happen in his head. Um, which is why the RCMP warned, please bring me home, to stay off of that property. It's his property. When the Mackenzies Martells stop accusing innocent people of doing something to the kids, then and only then do they get to cry victim. Okay. So doing something to the kids. I believe that, and I am not defending Drippy. I'm not, but I want clarification. Doing something to the kids. They do not think the kids are deceased. They think the kids have been taken and hidden by Malaya. So doing something to the kids, those accusations are not coming from Mackenzie Martells. It's kind of like the shoes on the other foot with that one, honestly. They don't think the kids are gone. They really don't. They really don't. Unless they know and they're playing a part. But they're not accusing anyone of, okay, whatever, killing the kids. They're not. If they are relatives to Jack and Lily, you would think they would do anything to find these sweet kids that are missing. Yeah, absolutely. Where's their mom? Beyond the whispers lies the truth. He came back because he had a bunch of hens swacking at him. Oh, yeah. All searchers were insured? Yes. Yes, for the approved search sites. If one of them got rammed by a ram and ended up in hospital or something, that would not have been covered because they weren't supposed to be there. I don't know what is difficult. No, I don't think it was, I didn't think it came from you. I didn't know, obviously, 'cause people don't send me stuff. But do you think the family members should not be able to search? I absolutely think that in a normal case, the family members should be the one pushing for searches and leading the searches. 100% absolutely. Absolutely. They should be at the front and center. But this case, 6.5 months in, is such a circus shit show with so many wild accusations going back and forth about planting evidence. I don't think the families should have been involved. It's unfortunate that there were so few searchers that the 12 of them added to the ground covered. But if they had found something, it would have been, Daniel could have said they planted it just like they planted the blanket easily, because that's the narrative, right? It's just, it's a sad state, but it is what it is. Hello, Cindy Clark and Marie or Maurice. I actually read that. So let's move on. So now you guys have got a taste of the, not drama, I guess, that I've been dealing with. I don't call it drama when you guys send me information at all. Like I said, my head has been spinning since all of this started coming to me today, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts about it. And it seems like it's divided. Some of you feel the way that I do, like it raises more questions about what actually happened there, and some of you are still, no, he had no right to be defensive. Cheryl is here, thankfully, to say, to stick to their story that they were not on his land. But that's what this is all about, getting everybody's version out, right? I could also imagine if they were worried he was involved and something was found on their property, that they could be implicated as an accessory somehow, or fear of someone planting something. That's just what I'm saying. Did anyone else see the lady that posted on Facebook who lives on Gairloch Road asking for people to search behind her house? I didn't see that. Mind you, I'm not on Facebook a whole lot anymore. Hmm. You can't trust anyone or anything. Right. And how sad is that? Mom has to be the first she has to be the most vocal, and she has to be the most credible and the most trustworthy. But we don't have that here. Take it somewhere else, Jeannie, please. Not here. I'm not into the drama. Yeah, I saw that she said her property access is to the water with no issues at all. Of the land behind her property is used for many things and said people should check it. So I take it she's not able to check her own. More searches, more dogs, more video. The Mackenzies and Martells, what are they hiding? From my understanding, yes, it's a please bring me home has gained the access to cadaver dogs. Kent, use your fucking fingers. Text. Stop using talk to text. Not that it's a RCMP dog. That's just what I'm hearing. And it was in an article. We will read it. I am so far behind in chat. I'm gonna. Okay. Well, that's a lie. She never had a knife. Also, Janice left at a certain time. Bullshit. Um, okay. Fair enough. Thanks. Saying you have a knife can be considered a threat. She wasn't brandishing a knife or anything like that. I think it was a discussion that was overheard before the search even started. Was the Cindy mention Malea's mom? Yes. I heard 2 bears too, Kent. Did you hear bear or ram? Bear, or sorry, ram. Yeah, why change with how? Change what? Yeah, I'm so behind. Mm, I don't think they threatened to kill his animals either. It was implied when he said he talked about his animals, and then they said, "Well, we have bear spray and knives, so we're good." That's not a threat to kill his animals. So, like I said, it's vitriol and it's earned on both sides. The mistrust and the it's earned on both sides. It is wonderful to know that Lily and Jack's family was there looking for them. Okay. One person was added when we got to the center. Facts, Charmaine. Hopefully, no dirtwood allowed. No. Hey, Chelsea. Sounds like they wanted a confrontation. I wasn't going to say it like that, but that's what I heard, that it was kind of an orchestrated. Who knows? We weren't there. So it's not okay for the Martells or Mackenzies to defend themselves. Sure it is. It absolutely is. It's okay for anybody to defend themselves. I don't agree with anybody throwing hate or accusations at anybody. Put the facts out there, defend yourself if you're being accused of something, absolutely. But, I mean, little side note message to Jordan, know what you're defending, number 1, and number 2, don't do it like a lunatic. Come out, use your words, be rational, and people will hear you. They will listen to you. You become more credible when you're not a raging lunatic. Who is Wayne? Daniel's uncle, Janie's brother. Where was Malaya? No show. And I don't understand it. Like, the more noise that these people keep making, they're backpedaling. They seem to have lost control of the narratives. Their fairy tale they created, click, click, handcuffs for. Oh, you're good. You're funny. I wish Malaya would tell them something too, but I think she's scared of losing Meadow. She's already lost Meadow. So, in my opinion, the person that comes forward with the information that's going to lead to solving this case with Jack and Lily is probably going to be the one more likely to wind up with Meadow after they're done their sentence. Did I say that out loud? Both sides should have put the victims first. It should have just been about Lily and Jack, 100%. You got some old creepy guy yelling at you, just move along. Just keep moving. There's no reason to stand there. Engage. Be better. Please Bring Me Home sounds like a very unprofessional rookie organization with untrained volunteers who have zero social skills. What an embarrassment. Sadly, they're a joke, and they confirmed it. I expected more. That has got to be in your opinion, because I don't agree. I agree that they're not typically involved in ongoing investigations, and they don't normally have the constraints that they were faced with this search. I don't think it's fair to say that they're incompetent. I think it's fair to say that they may have been roped into doing the search because of a level of misrepresentation about what they actually did. Who can say no to a grandmother who's desperately searching for her grandkids? So I thank everybody that went out there to search. They took time out of their day. They put their, their physical well-being in, at risk by going through those woods. The weather was not nice. It was cold, and they got a lot of ground covered. So I think that they did the best they could do, given with what they were allowed to do. In my opinion, that shows from the start they had alternative thoughts. Ooh. Thank you, Cheryl Christine, for being there for Lily and Jack. I think it's clear that the team didn't follow direction. And like I said, usually when you have search groups and search team leads, Cheryl was the lead for their group. I mean, if any group, honestly, Cheryl, that should have had a Please Bring Me Home rep with you, it was your group. Sorry, but it was your group and Hayden's group, period. Period. End of story. If any group needed to have an outside, unbiased representation, it was yours. Same if Daniel found anything. Yep, I don't actually think Daniel should participate in any searches for the same reason. 100%. Nothing that Daniel finds, even if he continues his search for answers, however wild we think his methods are, even if he continues to search, if he found anything, nobody's going to believe it at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but this is the reality that they find themselves in over a case of 2 missing babies. Where's Malaya? Stand up for yourself. Why are you allowing other people to search and care for your kids? I don't get it. Maybe a little bit of clarification will go a long way. Wow. Wow to who? Me? If it's about my text to talk thing, bite me. I've been telling you that for months. Stop it. I have a screenshot of you saying you needed a new boyfriend because of your text to talk. So don't tell me. I'll tell you. So did every group not have a member of Please Bring Me Home with them? No. No. Cheryl's group, she was the team captain. They didn't have a Please Bring Me Home member with them. They had Allie. I can't remember her last name, but she's a reporter. So it feels like Daniel's and Malaya's narratives unraveling. Does it? How so? Because I don't agree. If anything, there's more confusion. Even without rams, I would not have wanted them on my land, period. Sporkor, what do you? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, yes. Yes. That was Cindy Murray. Anything else of note? Okay, there we go. To clear this up, my group was made when we got to the center. They added Haley once we arrived, and another lady asked if she could join us. We didn't know her. Janice didn't threaten anyone. Okay. Screenshot this, everybody. So you have Cheryl's side. I'll leave it up for a couple of minutes. Let everybody get their little screenshot devices ready. I'm not putting that up, Steph. Drippy. They definitely weren't insured if hurt on the property. Belinda's lawyer stated that. Please bring me home. Didn't have permission to be on private property, including the searchers. For the last time, we were not on private property. I mean, hopefully it's not the last time, because you're going to have to keep repeating it, not here, but everywhere. Because that is the story that's out there, that you guys, on purpose or not, just took a wrong turn and you were in the wrong area and you happen to be on probably what I would call, and don't quote me on this, but like the most volatile of the Mackenzies when people are on his land. He warned by the RCMP for please bring me home to stay away. So what are the odds you guys happen to stumble across his property? The one person that they were warned to stay away from. That's just bad luck, Cheryl. Char claims they went to a different spot where they weren't permitted to go. Hey, whoa. Char does not claim shit. Char doesn't know anything, Kristen. I read from something I was told by somebody who was there. Char didn't say shit. I read it. Get that right, please. I don't want to be sucked into this. So Charmaine said this. No, she didn't. Charmaine read a message from somebody who was there who said that. Period. Call me paranoid. YouTube is a fiasco. Malaya and Daniel could have handed a hot drinks afterwards. Would you? If you were them, would you go out and stand there and who was it? You know what? Quick little side story. Delphi, the Delphi murders, Abby and Libby. So Richard Allen was arrested, eventually convicted, but the courtroom was so closed and they weren't streaming the trial, so people would line up they'd have line holders, like they were paying people to line up for them overnight so people could get into trial. Now, Mike Patty is a grandfather to one of the murdered little girls. He did that, actually. He would go and give them snacks and warm drinks and stuff. Even though a lot of them were supporters of the man who was being tried for murdering his granddaughter. He understood that they were human beings who were given limited information, who didn't know all the ins and outs of the case, but they were human beings and they were out there for a reason, and it was their right to know. You have a right to a fair and public trial in the United States, and that was what the judge deemed as fair and public trial. So they would line up at night. So the family of one of the victims would give hot coffee and snacks to these line waiters. Just so, I mean, it happens. It's a good one to read. I'm losing faith in the RCMP. I've been worried for a while, but I'm really concerned now. I feel like they don't want to deal with this family. I've heard the community feels the same. I know in a different part of watercourse, but I thought still along banks of watercourse. Just looking for where there'll be a next search after all this craziness. We're gonna read an article that was posted by Please Bring Me Home, which reminds me I don't know how to get out of my messenger, so it might take me a minute. This is the reason why so many people didn't search because of the lies and bullshit. Right. I understand that. I do. But understand that this, lies and bullshit that you're calling came from people who were there at the search who are not active on Facebook. They might watch YouTube in the background, and they might have a vested interest in finding Jack and Lily, but they're not the usual suspects that have told me this stuff. And this is the only reason why I was okay with bringing it out, because they have literally no reason to make it up. So maybe it was misunderstood. The telephone game works. They weren't standing with you, they were away from you, but they're sure they heard what they heard and they relayed it to me, so I'm relaying it to you guys. I'm no different than what's the other one? Oh, the Daniel and Malaya and everybody was over at Jordan's that morning. The tipster is sure of what she saw. She's, 95% sure of who she saw. She seems pretty confident that it was the first, but who knows? Maybe she's mistaken. In regards to not wanting to be involved in the search and not wanting to deal with the family, I'm not saying the RCMP don't care, but I worry they want it to disappear. I think they know now that it's not going to. And the longer it takes for them to figure things out, the worse it looks for them, which is terrible considering what they just went through with Wortman. And there was a internal, there was a report released not too terribly long ago about like lessons learned type thing with that. Both sides of this altercation could have easily been avoided. Nick had given clear direction. Cassie, I'm just telling you what our RCMP responded to CBC. They found one item of clothing. They sent pictures to Malaya. Malaya said she didn't recognize it. If they found one other item that I know of, and yeah, I can't seem to find your second part. But we will read the article. I haven't had time to read it, so I don't know if she actually lists what was found and what wasn't found. But I do have that list pretty much in my head. In my opinion, whoever sent this video to any YouTuber was opening the whole situation up to scrutiny. Absolutely. And to be clear, the person who did send the video did want it released. Did give Sunny permission to play it. That's what the allegation is today. According to Cheryl, it's false, but that's what they're saying. Wayne is Janie's brother. There is enough of them to help search. Why wouldn't you? Lily and Jack deserve justice. That's right, and they need to come home. I can't point my finger to any side in this search situation because I see both sides and I think both sides did wrong. Same. Same. According to what was relayed yesterday, they took the wrong route. No, they didn't go to the wrong area. They just went the wrong direction. They went up when they were supposed to go down, or they went down when they were supposed to go up. I'm not sure which. They had a CBC reporter there and a camera. These evidence issues aren't really a concern. I don't know if they had a camera. I know Allie was part of the search party. I don't. Do you really think they had a news camera following them? Maybe. Daniel will say anything to get out of any situation. In my opinion, he is an opportunist. How can Daniel and Janie participate when they are constantly accused of hurting, murdering the kids? If the families can find peace. I know what you're getting at, and I agree. I pray to God, if you ever have to go through having a missing loved one, the harassment and media bullying that the Martells and McKendies and Getty's families have gone through is beyond normal. Okay. Why are they putting themselves out there then? I'm not speaking of Jordan. I'm not even speaking of Janie. I am speaking of Darren and I am speaking of Daniel, who I've spoken to both of them at length. Why are they putting themselves in this situation? And in some situations, dragging their families through it knowingly and not stopping. I can understand Daniel to a certain point. Durwood, no pity. None. I pity his children and his family. I'd like to say thanks, Maud. You are doing a great job filtering through. Oh, really? Is it terrible? Oh my God, Shower, I didn't know that. My mind has changed. I think I am just sticking with your channel. Thank you. I don't intend to do that. Nobody needs to be coming here relying. I'll just give you all the information and you figure it out for yourself what you believe or not, right? I'm not telling you what to believe at all because I don't know what to believe. Beyond the Wizards. To be fair, Daniel has come to the internet, YouTube, Facebook, etc. himself. Same with Durwood and Janie. Do I agree with all the accusations? No. But they put themselves there and they continue to do it. Knowing what that's why I say if whenever Durwood shows up in my chat, you know what he's here for. He knows. He knows. And Daniel, anytime he goes somewhere, he knows he's gonna be I won't even call it attacked anymore, but bombarded with questions. Some rude, some respectful, but question after question after like they know this now. They know it. So if they enter these rooms, they're doing it knowingly. I think the lady with the Facebook post was more so putting it out there that any search is welcome to use for problem. Yes. And that's the way it should be. In reality, that's the way it should be. I believe that after this disappearance, all properties from missing kids should be emptied on the spot when they go missing. Not just that, Donna. I think that when a child goes missing, and most of us, I think, have signed that Amber Alert reform petition through the Darius McDougall page. But once there is a missing child, I don't care if they're a vulnerable person, but a missing child, not that I don't care, I didn't mean it like that, but a missing child, even if it's a missing persons act investigation, you secure that scene. You do not let people in and you do not let people out, period. That is crime scene investigation 101, guys. That is my opinion. They fucked up. I said what I said. Did they yell that they had a knife? No, they yelled that they had bear spray and a knife. It wasn't a threat. It was saying, don't worry about us. The whole thing, in my opinion, was way overblown and taken out of context. Both sides. You want to know what I think? Both sides. Easily avoidable. Even if you say, it's a good thing they were all there. It's a good thing they had the extra searchers. Excellent. Maybe they turned the wrong way. Maybe they went down the wrong path. Maybe it was all just happenstance that it happened. But even the altercation itself could have been easily avoided by saying, sorry, we're going. and then go and shut up. You know, I don't blame them for videotaping, but I do not agree with them standing and engaging. Be better. It's about Jack and Lily. I don't think any of the Martells or Mackenzies cared about those babies. No, it was said during the confrontation, Charmaine, mention of the knife and bear spray. No, I know. That's what I just said. But he was saying, like, my Rams, my Rams, my Rams. And they were saying, don't worry about us. We have this bear spray. We have a knife. We're fine. That's what I mean. It wasn't a threat. Thank you, Colleen, for becoming a member. I heard the lady in the video say they had knives and bear spray. Yes. You guys. You guys are all, you're welcome to rewind because we've been beating this dead horse for quite a while now. It was about being protected, a knife and a bear spray. The knife was a threat. She was stating how she was protected after he stated it's dangerous, right? Is Justin in here? Clutch them pearls. Is he in here? Blocking the road with his truck again. Grendel, go back and have a read. I don't think you did miss it, but the story is that Wayne was in his pickup talking to, now I've heard Hunter, but originally I heard an officer in the gold colored pickup or gray, whatever color it is. And they were honked at to get them to move, and they took a little bit longer to move, but they did eventually move. To me, that's not a roadblock. To me, that's no like Ruby Ridge or any bullshit. That's just, children being children. If someone was coming to search for missing children on my property, I would make them warn drinks and snacks. Kent was not there. They should have had a member of Please Bring. Yes, he said if there was, and no shade whatsoever, Cheryl, but if there was one team there out there that day that needed Please Bring Me Home on their team, it was your group. The leader shouldn't have given such false hope, talking about high chances. I think logical common sense thinking people who were involved in the search knew that that was putting lipstick on a pig. There's no way else to describe searching the same area over and over again and expecting a different result. I understand that the water level could have been different, blah, 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 but give me a break. There were so many areas that even we as a community have identified in the last 6 months that should be checked. Let's just go over that beaten ground again. And that's just my opinion. I mean, in absolutely no shade. I get it. I get it. I think the ladies also are in the wrong. Multiple people yelling at him will not solve anything. Like I said, it could have been avoided. It shouldn't have happened. Now you have both sides. Crime Science. Hey, I've never seen you before. Thanks for being here. She is the mother, for Christ's sake. Get searching and look for your babies. Right. And if you're doing it privately, it's not working. You need to go public with your search for your children. I think it would bode well for you if CPS saw you caring and looking for them. Just saying. Charmaine read something from somebody that witnessed what happened at the base camp. And the only reason why I decided to read it is because somebody else on the phone told me almost the exact same verbatim story earlier in the day. And I know these people do not talk. So I had, in my own mind, reason to believe that it was credible enough for me to share it with you. And I mean, whatever. I hope you can believe that. I'm not just going to throw shit at you to see if you believe it. But when I heard it the first, I was like, "That's really interesting," but it was a phone call, I didn't have any receipts, nothing, but then somebody completely out of the blue sent me almost the exact same story. Yeah, my head was spinning, I needed to throw you at you guys. See, the thing is, there's no evidence whatsoever that anyone harmed the children, so people need to stop throwing accusations. How are you all going to feel when and if the kids are found in woods? Well, I would be upset because they're not alive in the woods. Um, I said just the other day, as a matter of fact, like, what if we're all wrong, you guys? What if they are, in fact, somewhere in the woods and they were just missed? I have been saying that, but I've also been asking Durwood and Daniel, what if you're wrong about your theory that you are so publicly pushing and you have people searching for these live kids on First Nations lands and reservations? How are you going to feel when they're not alive in the woods because you refuse to look anywhere else? So that is a two-way street because I've tried. Where's Cody? Was he out searching? No, Cody isn't involved. Cody stepped out of the kids' lives years ago. And you know what? Belinda has her own thoughts on that. And they're not unlike our thoughts on that, but that's her son. And he's got nothing to do with any of this. And that's really that's the end of the topic in my mind. Daniel shouldn't have anything to do with nothing concerning the search. The children. He's nothing to the children, but that's just your opinion. I mean, they weren't married. Not the screenshots. Did I say something funny? I'm sorry. This is not a funny situation. Char, I am gonna need to see that screenshot of Kent. So, oh, that I would love to. Kent, use your fingers. I'm just saying. It's not going viral or anything. I didn't put it out there, but I do have it. The CBC News lady was there. How more impartial could they have been? It's no comment. The lady yelled that she had a knife and bear spray. That's it. Malaya, please set things straight. This is causing so much stress on people, and your kids are missing. I don't blame Daniel for staying away. Now we know more. Yes, but we aren't privy to who that is. If we are going to give the men blocking or not blocking the road the benefit of the doubt, we need to do the same for the other side. All could be true or not. So, I believe, I don't think it's a big secret that that vehicle that they were blocking was the group in question here today. So, my opinion, that's some want more confusing. No, the one that you text to talk that you needed a new boyfriend. And you were trying to say something about Janie not having a boyfriend. All comes down to the competence of the RCMP. Maybe. American Justin, that's not the first time my phone has said that, but I will confirm. I do like women, not men. Not according to my screenshot, Kent. Use your fingers. I was telling you. Oh, wait, Hayden was there. Yes. Yes. And Cody and the men. I'm not being sucked into anything, never was and never will. Good. All right, I'm going to read this article, you guys. Um, what's this? This sounds juicy. Durwood even said Daniel Malaya and the kids were at Jordan's Thursday, May 1st in the morning. So I'm not going to get into that, but we did go over that the other day, that transcript. And just a quick update, we cannot find that video. We have even reached out to Dolly to try to find that video. It is quite possible, though, that that transcript came from AI with a rundown of the recent history of the case. So whether he did or not, I don't know, but we're going to find it. If it exists, we will find it. Just like the Janie Shush and the Kids video, said I would find it if it existed, and we found it. And same goes with this one. We will find it if it exists. Cheryl's still here. I do not know. Don't think so. Maybe. Anyway. This. My sister's mother-in-law is an assistant manager at the Irving Big Stop where the police shot Gabriel that day. She was working at the time. Terrifying. You guys don't know what we're talking about. Literally go look it up. It is a disgrace. I keep saying I'm going to read this and then I get stuck in chat. I have no business having a YouTube channel because all I want to do is read your stuff. Right. I'm gonna read. Ooh, listen to this article. Should we try that, you guys? Let's just try it. Let's see what it is. If it's AI reading it, if it sounds decent, we're going to listen to it. Going to the bottom of chat, and then we're going to listen to this article so you don't have to listen to me read it. Put you all to sleep with my calm voice. Thanks for becoming a member, Mama Bear. Thank you. Anybody else? Cody? No, he's not. Yes. Cody, which boyfriend is that? Haley's boyfriend? Cody was there. That's who you're talking about? We're not talking about Belinda's son, Cody, because I don't know a thing about him. Honestly, don't know a single thing about the guy. Share my screen. And up there. Ooh, we want to share the audio because I'm going to try to play the article. It says right there that you can. See that? Listen to the article. Do you guys see that? It's fantastic. By Allie Thompson. And she would know, you guys. She was out there with this search group. So I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to try to hit play. If you guys can't hear it, try to let me know in chat as quickly as possible. And then I suppose I'll read it to you. Okay. Here we go.
RCMP. Jack and Lily Sullivan were reported missing from Lansdowne, NS, on May 2nd. Allie Thompson, Angela McIvor, CBC News, posted, November 16, 2025, 1:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After a grueling day wading through rushing river waters and climbing through dense woods, some family members of two missing Nova Scotia children were left disappointed that their last-ditch search for the siblings before the snow flies did not result in a breakthrough. A few items of interest were discovered during the search for Lily Sullivan, 6, and Jack Sullivan, 5, on Saturday in Lansdowne, NS, but RCMP say none of the items hold any relevance to the disappearance of the two children. About 30 volunteers descended upon the sparsely populated community to scour for any signs of the siblings, who vanished more than 6 months ago. Many had hoped they would find the children. That's not what happened today, said Angeline Maloney Arsenault, a childhood friend of the children's mother. I do feel that we have more questions, especially with finding things throughout the woods. I do feel disappointed. Lily and Jack were reported missing on May 2nd, when their mother, Malihia Brooks Murray, called 911 and reported they had wandered away from their home, which borders thick woods. Their disappearance sparked an extensive grid search that spanned 8.5 square kilometers of mostly dense woods and involved about 160 ground search and rescue volunteers, service dogs, drones and helicopters. RCMP cadaver dogs also searched a total of 40 kilometers over 3 days in late September. Watch family of Jack and Lily Sullivan desperately search for clues. Saturday's search was led by the Ontario-based nonprofit Please Bring Me Home. Volunteers, many of them family and friends of the children, gathered at the Union Centre Community Hall and were split into 6 groups, destined to cover roughly 5 kilometers each along the banks of the Middle River of Pictou. Nick Oldreeve, executive director of the organization, said the search was to focus on waterways that may have moved or concealed clues during earlier searches. Enough time has passed now that revisiting these waterways, it's a high probability that they are there, if the theory is that they wandered off, said Oldreeve, who drove 18 hours from his home in Ontario to manage the search. His organization also ran a search on Friday in the Spring Hill area for Jesse Morrissey, who has been missing since February 2022. Oldreeve said Please Bring Me Home has helped locate more than 50 missing people since 2018. Last year, they located the remains of Eric Spencer in Honey Harbor, Ontario, who had been missing for 6 years. On Saturday, crews were faced with extremely challenging conditions. At times, volunteers were forced to wade through waist-deep water, climb across downed trees and push back thick brush, all while keeping their eyes peeled for clues. Those efforts resulted in a few items of interest. However, RCMP said in an email Sunday that investigators reviewed the materials and found they hold no relevance. Volunteers came upon a child's black t-shirt with a blue design. Oldreeve said a photo of a t-shirt was sent to RCMP, who then sent it to the children's mother, but she didn't recognize it. A geocaching kit was also uncovered. Geocaching involves hiding a container of items, such as papers and trinkets, and posting the GPS coordinates to an app for other people to find. The kit had a log book containing the name of the children's stepfather. It read, Daniel Martel, May 3, 2014, left a 2012 quarter. Martel and his family have lived in the area for decades. A blue blanket was also found, and a child's bicycle. Searchers also visited the area where a drone detected 2 heat sources around 11:30 p.m. on May 2. In an email last week, RCMP said the signatures were investigated on foot by an RCMP officer and determined they were not relevant. It's believed they were emitted by a bear in the area. One group also came across bones that were wrapped in a blanket, but Oldreeve said the group's anthropologist determined they were animal bones after being sent a photo. Oldreeve said Please Bring Me Home will compile a report to send to the RCMP, which will include photos of the items and their GPS coordinates. One group endured a tense interaction with a local property owner as they were walking along the river. Standing at the top of a steep bank, the men shouted for the searchers to leave and told them he had dangerous animals, 2 rams. Permission had not been obtained from each individual property owner along the river where the search was happening. Oldreeve had told the group to call him if they came across someone who did not want them there. He said he spoke briefly with that property owner later that day. The case has sparked tensions in the community and between members of Jack and Lily's family. The mystery has garnered international media attention and led to finger-pointing on all sides. The normally sleepy hamlet of Lansdowne has seen its fair share of searchers, police, journalists, and casual observers since the children went missing. RCMP continue to say the case is being investigated under the Missing Persons Act and is not believed to be criminal. The Mounties say the Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit has been following up on information that has been gleaned from forensic testing, more than 860 tips and 8,060 video files. A slew of units are working on the case and have been since May. But Belinda Gray, the children's paternal grandmother, is getting impatient. Gray said she was a little apprehensive after Saturday's search. Through tears, Gray said she still believes the children are in the woods. I know they're out there, said Gray, whose daughter was helping with the search. Oldreeve said based on what he's now seen on the ground, including the many orange and pink ribbons marking off areas that were already searched, and after speaking with authorities, family, and locals, he's having a hard time believing they wandered into the woods. I just find it more unlikely today by the minute, he said. Nevertheless, Oldreeve confirmed on Sunday that accredited cadaver dogs, trained to detect the scent of human remains, would return to Lansdowne this week to conduct a search. Cheryl Robinson, a family friend of Lily and Jack, led a team of searchers on Saturday. Despite feeling disappointed by the results, she still has hope. We definitely won't stop looking for them. More top stories.
Just kind of seeing what's going on. Sorry, in chat. And I heard people say it, and yes, it's not racist what Durwood said, just his opinion. No, I disagree. It is, um, I believe, in my opinion, that it is in fact racist, and he's not stating it as his opinion. He's 1000% ironclad. Okay, so no, it's not just his opinion. And we've been dealing with him for 5 months and his information. So, here, Harley, not now. Let me know if you can hear that. Can you hear that? My bad. Um, I consider it. I agree with you. Um, oh, yes, Durwood uses covert racism like it's going out of style. Um, okay, you guys, so I have something that I want to share because I am all about sharing all the information with you that I receive in a respectful way. So give me a minute to pull it up. I disagree. We can talk about it after, Cheryl, but I disagree um about the looking for attention part. That it's if you're believing that what I said today came from Daniel, it didn't. It did not. It's not somebody who's out there at all. At all. So I'm gonna pull this picture up. And I mean, I know that you and your people don't watch my channel. I get it. But if you did, you would understand that I'm not about throwing wild accusations out. I am not accusing you guys of doing anything. I am giving information that I was given. And I am telling everybody that I do not have proof whether or not this happened. But the fact that two separate people told me at two completely different times, almost the exact same story, was the only reason why I felt even semi-comfortable, not even 100% comfortable bringing this out. But I wanted my viewers who are here all the time and understand why I am doing this. I wanted to hear their thoughts. And that is literally it, Cheryl. I am not here to, I'm not on anybody. I am on the side of truth and finding answers and trying to sort through all the bullshit to figure out what could have happened to Jack and Lily. That is it. Honestly, you don't have to believe me, but I'm being honest with you. So Cheryl just sent me this, and she is saying that this is roughly where the altercation took place. Now let me, because I did share that image, right, so I can read it. Hmm. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start from here and hopefully I don't say anything I'm not supposed to. We got to the center yesterday morning. My group was already made. Haley and Angeline were added, and Allie from CBC and another lady named Jessica. We did go the wrong way when we started, yes, but it was because the map was wrong. So, if we came in from the other way, the map would have been right, but we covered a huge section before lunch. We stayed along the side of the water. Then Wayne came at us like a wild animal. Yeah, we were upset. But he was at the top of the bank yelling down at us. We ended up moving along down the water. We finished that area and we came out at the campground and met a very lovely man. He didn't want people searching on his property, but he gave the searchers a ride back up to the road on his side by side like a normal person would. We went back to the road on his side by side like a normal person. We went back to the community center. Janice went to the bathroom and spoke to Belinda, then told her what was going on because Janice ended up having to leave due to family issues. So Janice left right after she used the bathroom. So no, there wasn't any communications at the community center about anything you said. I'm not even going to entertain it because we know it's not true and didn't happen. Okay. So there's that. So again, you guys, the information is here. We can absolutely decide for ourselves what we believe, what we think is common sense, and it's hard to even say, use common sense and logic when deciding because there's just so very little of it in this investigation from all sides, from the RC side with the information they choose to put out to Malaya not being around to Daniel putting out these bizarre statements sometimes that we're just left wondering what is he up to or what does he mean by that. There's so many aspects of this that it's hard to know what to think and what to believe. So my suggestion is to take it all and put it to the information that you know and your own opinions, but be respectful about it. That's all. We can talk about anything we want. Doesn't mean anybody's done anything wrong. Interesting. Somebody just sent me a screenshot and I might as well. You know what? I'm not doing it today. Um, half an hour ago, Daniel posted something on the missing Jack and Lily Sullivan uncensored page. Feel free to go look at it. I'm not going to read it today because I want to talk about the donation money and what y'all would like to do with that. I'm pretty sure. Just let me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all that was left, and it's important to me that I get to that we get this done. I do not want that money hanging over my head. No, I don't have it from YouTube yet. I'll figure that out later, but I don't want to have this money sitting in my possession for any longer than it needs to be here. So the people, and not even if you couldn't donate, I want your feedback. So coats for kids, there are a lot of places that were um, canvassing for coats for kids. A lot of them are finished collecting coats for kids. So we can we can still donate money. We can still buy coats and stuff, but the need isn't as great as it was. They've already done their drives. However, they have got Christmas drives coming up for kids that might not get to see Santa or they might go without. We've got food banks. Salt Springs Elementary School actually did say that they could use some coats and maybe snow pants, stuff like that. But we have, where's my notes? Minus the 30% that YouTube takes off the top, it was just over $350, and then I'll throw in $100 of my own. Okay. Or not 300, sorry, $100 of my own. I'm not rich, you guys, but and I plan to do this out of my own bank account, and then YouTube can reimburse me whenever I figure out it's my issue, not yours, that I don't have a clue how to do that. So anyways, what do you want to do? Do you want to split it up like half and half? Do you want to give some money maybe to Salt Springs for coats and snow pants? Or do you want me to send money to one of the kind, trustworthy people that I talk to for them to go and purchase maybe some secondhand stuff for um, Salt Springs, like good, decent, in good condition use stuff, so that they get more, and then use some money. And I'm thinking like a members only live where I'll go on to Amazon and Walmart and stuff, and we'll do We'll do an online shopping spree together, and then we will check out together so you guys can see where your money is being spent. But I wanna know what you guys wanna do. You know, it's your money. What do you guys wanna do? And if it's too much of a split, then I'm just gonna go to the corner in a fetal position and cry because I want you guys to decide. It's your money. Your money. What are we fighting about? Shar gets upset at the racist comments no matter how they are stated. It's unnecessary, just saying she doesn't need to get upset while trying to help the kids and getting to her info out to us. Is somebody saying I should be upset? I don't know. I don't know, but I am who I am. And I'm human and I have my own thoughts and my own opinions and my own, I guess, sensitivities. And at this point, well earned, Durwood is one of them. And absolutely, feel free, you guys, if you have a problem with me or anything that I've said, feel free to email me. I will more than likely respectfully get back to you. Yes, cadaver dogs. That sounds like they're bringing some back in. All right. Christmas daddies. Okay. Toy drive. Oh, hey, Marie. I didn't see you sneak in here. That's a good idea. Christmas daddies in Jack and Lily's name. Excellent. Could you do a little Christmas party for Jack and Lily's school? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? That sounds a little more in depth. So, like, send me your idea. You can absolutely pose it to them. 30%. I had no idea. I had no intention of being monetized. Like, I don't even know how this happened, you guys. But I figured if I was gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it for the right reasons. So some of us locals have sent links and referrals to several. Yes, yes. But I want to know what these people who donated so much of their hard-earned money, secondhand jackets, and then Christina's presses. Give it to Halifax Children's Hospital. Wow, Children's Hospital. That's a good idea. Definitely the school should be involved, but should they get it all, Gren? Half and half? Yeah, so good. Crazy. Christmas daddies. Knights of Columbus toy drive take donations in each town. Okay. Okay. And like I said, we can do a members only where we go through Amazon and pick certain toys or Walmart and pick toys or stuff, or there's also the food bank. Like I don't know. I definitely want to do it together, whatever we decide. Not a big fan of cash donations or a gift card. That's very impersonal, and I think anybody can do that. I think you guys just blew my mind. You did so phenomenal. We should make it phenomenal. You know what I mean? Not that you can get a whole lot of stuff anymore with price of inflation and the way the economy is, but we should be able to do good. Like even if we're just buying toys to put into stuff an ambulance or whatever it's called, you know, we should be able to make a difference. If anyone watching is sitting on info to not be involved, please report anonymously every time. Yes, download the P3 Tips app onto your phone and make an anonymous report. Toys for Tots type of place, correct? And I don't know if it's possible, but I mean, if there's Toys R Us and stuff on the East Coast, sometimes places like that will match donations if it's for, good cause. Bonnie says, I say coats as kids need that more than toys. Kids' coats are just expensive. You won't get that much with this money. Just my thought, warm little feet and coats, mitts, yes. And just so you know, Bonnie specifically asked if they needed mittens, hats, boots, stuff like this. And Salt Springs claims they have lots. They could use more coats and snow pants, but they they've done their coats for kids drives already. Just that's why I started thinking of other things. Temu or the new one that is like Temu. They got giant tiger there. I don't know. Or socks and boots and whistles, coats and mittens. Again, I mean, my information tells me that those drives are done and they were successful. Not that they couldn't always use more, but it always. So just really quickly, I'm over 2 hours, but just really quickly, my daughter, when she was 13, 12 or 13, she was quite young, and they were supposed to be putting together their Christmas list. And she came to me one day and she said, "Mom, do you think part of my Christmas present could be an early Christmas present and for $100?" I was like, "What do you need $100 for?" She said, "Well, there's this little girl um, in my class who knows Santa's not going to be coming to her house. So I would like to buy her some Christmas presents." And I cried because that's my daughter. That's my compassionate, loving 13-year-old daughter. And so she got that. And obviously, it didn't come out of her Christmas present budget or whatever, but she was able to go and buy this girl Barbie dolls and some makeup and just a bunch of stuff, really cute things. And we're talking like it was like 15 years ago, so things weren't as expensive. She got a lot of stuff for this little girl, and she bought her a stocking and stuffed the stocking, and so stuff like that for kids that aren't expecting it, I think is heartwarming in another way, like a different level. Coats and snow pants especially. Oh, why some of you are deleting comments? Okay. I don't think you can split the money up. You might get 5 snowsuits out of it. No, I'm like, I can do whatever I want because I'm not. What do you mean? Like, I'm not waiting for YouTube to give me the money. I'm taking it out of my account. I can give 100 places $5 if I want to. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Don't do that. Don't do that. I'll be manic and just do stupid shit. They always have limited supply in this area. Yeah, but the places that were contacted, Ori, I'm not lying. They said that they did well this year. No, you're not timed out. Of course not. Not that I know of. I don't get to see anything like if they're hiding comments or deleting comments. I don't get to see that. Agreed. Toys for tots and snacks for kids who may need to take some home. Absolutely. Is there breakfast programs at schools? Like, what do you guys want to do? Is the search over now? For now, yes, it is. Knights of Columbus Christmas toy drive. Take toy money and toys lightly used and new. Yeah, I think we should keep it in their community. I do too. I do too. Good night, Francis. Scotland? I didn't know that. Thanks for being here. Guess some things are inappropriate to speak about here. Fair enough. Depends what it is. Not really if you're doing it in a respectful way. Like I said, I'm not a fan of deleting comments. If you're being rude or ignorant, then absolutely. But anybody can say what they want as long as they're doing it respectfully. Unless it's about Durwood, and then I don't care. Unless you're defending him, and then you're in the wrong channel. Dedicated to bringing joy to less fortunate children during the holiday season since '64. Oh, Christmas Daddies? Yeah. I would love to see something for the baby sister's future personally. I don't hate that idea, but I'm not I'm not going to use this donation money for that because it was raised under other pretenses. So nice thought, absolutely not. Toys for Tots. Go to the gym at noon for snacks and games. Oh yeah, that would have to be cleared by the school. You would like the money to go to the Salt Springs kids? And I mean, every intention of giving them some of it, but there are a lot of other less fortunate schools and children, even in the county, right? Like they already got the bench. Not that they don't take that the wrong way, but they did already get a buddy bench. Humio and the other new company, like them, Jack and Lily's names embroidered on the back of them. We are all upset at lies, made up stories. Yeah. Split. Yes, exactly. You have to be careful with trying to do anything directly with the school because, like their last issue with the bench, they don't want anything triggering. I vote for support women and women in women's shelters. I true, but this money was raised for kids, like needy kids who might need winter gear. And then I just thought about the Christmas drive thing too, but children, not saying that parents and shelters are not directly affecting children, but I think you know what I mean. The intention of the donation. I feel the money would be better suited in the Pictou area because here in the city, there's so much resources that give donations. Correct. Yeah. We like the Walmart idea. Thank you for tonight. I really enjoy your channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here all the way from Scotland. Blows my mind. Give it to what you asked for it for, coats, etc. Yes, but my issue with that, Bonnie, was that when I started looking around at who to donate the coats to, most of them said that they had finished their coats for kids drives. They were past that and they were moved on to the next um, donation drive. So we can for sure, but they put them in storage for next year, maybe? Sure. But I thought I would leave it up to the people who actually donated the money. Shar, keep some to upgrade your equipment as well. That's funny, Lynn. You want me to buy a new mic? Is this one okay? That I can buy a mic. I just really, truly, all I'm doing is waiting until I get to Alberta, and then I will go and I'll speak to somebody at Best Buy or something, and I will get a decent mic. I'm not trusting the Amazon shit anymore. That's all. What about the local transition house for abused women and children? If you guys have, out of the norm, like that kind of idea that you want your donation to go to, email me separately and I can make that happen. Okay. So I just deleted one comment. It's okay. It's okay, Gren. It's just fine. But I don't want the censorship, label on my channel. We're all adults. And if they can use, respectful language, then say what you want. But if you're being ignorant, then absolutely get rid of them. I don't give a shit. I can check out Timo for bulk milk. So yeah, for sure. Whatever you guys want to do. And this is uh, a lot. I love this show. We also pay it forward here. Trying to. The guy's got so many good ideas. What am I supposed to do with it? Just kidding. I will check out your video, Beyond. Thank you so much. We don't have time today. My dog is about to eat me. If you don't believe me, ask the regulars. He gets like this around this time every day. So I'm going to end it. I appreciate everybody being here today, hearing me out. And thank you, Cheryl, for clearing some stuff up and taking some time to clarify certain things and putting your side out as well, because that's what we're all about here. maybe I triggered you, Charmaine. I wasn't being rude. I asked a question. I didn't even say I was Team Durwood even. No, no, no. No, you didn't trigger. People don't trigger me, but I do have a sensitivity when it comes to Durwood. I do. He's earned it from me, both on here and behind the scenes for months and months. So we're good. We're good. We're good. I don't know if you were deleted, whatever. Don't even think twice about it. We're good. There's no issue with you. A mod deleted your comment and timed you out. Please do not blame Charmaine when she had no idea. Yeah. And mods on other channels, they're told to do stuff like that, and it's fine. Don't even worry about it. I hope the person is still here. Like, who knows? It's just a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. Don't even worry about it. Seriously, water off a duck's back. Come back next time, you'll see things will be different. Say what you want, just do it respectfully, and I don't care who you are. You always have a platform here. And with that, you guys, I'm gonna end it. Harley is gonna kill me. So email me if you want your donation to go somewhere specific. Otherwise, we're gonna schedule members live. We're gonna spend at least half the money on toys. The other half of the money can go to Salt Springs and they can do with it whatever they need. How's that sound? Perfect? Unless you want something different, email me. My email address is at the bottom. And other than that, we're going to, you know what? I'll probably see you tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, then definitely Tuesday. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
We're going down the rabbit hole.